Hello all, welcome to the Legend of Gaming Podcast. I'm Matt.
And you got Cliff?
And today we are just wrapping up Season 1.
This has been a lot of fun, Matt. I will tell you, there's so many different games we've gone through that I forgot about. And it's just like, man, I really enjoyed that back in the day.
Yeah, we're going to recap them. We'll talk about some games we're excited about. But before we do, Clifford, let's jump into the last Cliff Notes of Season 1.
Here are your Cliff Notes. So we wanted to know the developer that was for Split Fiction, It Takes Two, and what was the last one, Matt?
A Way Out.
A Way Out. It was Haze Light Studios. And just a big shout out to them. They are very creative. They keep your interest in these co-op games, and they do a really good job. Now, we have another one. You mentioned Pokemon Stadium mini games.
Oh, yes, I did.
And you wanted me to check it out, and I've actually played it. I remember just a few of the games, and they're almost in par with like Mario Party games, like you kind of mentioned. They're really fun.
I don't think there is a Pokemon Stadium minigame that I dislike playing.
I can attest to that. They look really good. And I remember a few of them. They definitely stuck with me. But it took some time to remember. I was like, man, did I ever play this? But really good game. Definitely love finding the old ones. And then our last one.
Oh, you're not gonna do a Magikarp impression? It's the wildest.
They have like 4 of them.
The
it's
wildest
like,
sound effects.
It really is. And once you hear it going back and forth, something else. And then we have our very last one. We were talking about the Freddy Krueger in Call of the Dead. And it was a very specific character that you could play.
Robert Englund.
You got me.
Robert Englund.
And yeah, that's pretty much our Cliff Notes.
Hey, I appreciate the going back covering it. Call of the Dead was one of my favorite zombies of all time.
Yeah.
I think I always wanted to play Buffy or Danny, but I'm just thankful that there's a little different flavor for everybody.
Yeah, just a different little touch. I definitely love the idea of it being in a very cold area, because I think that was like the first really shivering area.
Yeah, it was. It was the first snowfall map that was like of that size too, because
yeah.
I mean, I would say Nocturne Untold, the very first one, was kind of like a winter map, but like you're inside of a building with a flamethrower, so there's not really, you're not dealing with the elements.
True.
All right, well, I really appreciate the Cliff Notes, and for this episode we don't really have anything overarching that we need to cover, so what we're going to do is just jump into games that we talked about genre wise.
Yeah.
And we're just going to talk about either games that we really enjoyed in those genres or games that we're looking forward to that are coming out. But before we jump into genres, let's just talk about the Switch too. What are you thinking? Yeah. Excited? Not excited? What are your thoughts?
I think I'm really excited for it. I think the pricing is a little bit of a deterrent, but the games that are coming out definitely look really good. We just checked out Donkey Kong, and I can tell you there's not too many Donkey Kong games that I personally played. This one looks really good. I would spend the money on that one.
Okay, let's start with the money side. I am a little astounded by the price.
Yes.
I'm not shocked that the console was going to be $450. I'm shocked that the games are $80 and they're not even like game downloads on the cartridges themselves. Like, it's a key to download a game from the internet. So I guess where I'm a little like confused is like, if you live in the mountains or you live somewhere without Wi-Fi,
right,
you buy this cartridge, like, do you have to go somewhere and like connect to Wi-Fi to be able to download it? So, that's my only thing where I'm a little confused with the price. Like, I would assume that the hardware would be better and you'd have like a better experience.
Yeah.
But until I get my hands on it, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to be skeptical. I'm going to be skeptical, Matt, until then.
I get you.
Gameplay, if we're just talking even just Donkey Kong, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Looks fire. Donkey Kong being able to break the terrain, pick up stuff. He feels strong. Mm-hmm. He kind of looks like a doofus, which I love. Whenever he picked up the rock and his tongue's out of his mouth,
sticking out. I was like,
I'm definitely excited, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of like exploration, breaking walls or digging in holes, trying to find secret areas. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of rewards, jumping back a couple episodes when we talk about Lego Star Wars, and you come back with other characters and you find the dancing stormtroopers. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of those moments of breaking through a wall and finding a funny scene or something comical or a throwback to another, Nintendo game.
A nice little like Easter egg for you.
Absolutely. I mean,
I like that.
Pikmin, maybe.
Yeah.
Could see Pikmin being in a little oasis. You bust through a wall, there's a little toad hanging out, and he's like, whoa, he's
That
lost.
would be cool. I would like that.
Lots of opportunity.
Or even find like maybe some of like equipment from Mario.
100%.
I would like to see that.
Or the games have so much crossover. Maybe you get a power up where you get like plumber pants, and you can like pick up something, or you can build a pipe. Like honestly, I know
cool.
that they're more creative than I am, but you get the vibes of what I'm talking about.
No, you're doing great work. And even the last one that I would love to see this Easter egg. Did you see the movie?
No, I saw the movie, but like I'm not gonna say yes and tell you that I remember a lot of it. I remember them fighting.
Yes.
On the little platform.
There's a moment where Donkey Kong actually takes a flame like flower, a fire flower, and he actually turns like almost like a bright red. Looks really cool. He's throwing flames.
I don't remember. I
would love to see that. That would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be a nice little touch.
Donkey Kong with power-ups.
This is the one to do it. It looks very good. Now, what I will say is that I know that you're mentioning the process of like just getting your games. And I think that can be a deterrent. Hopefully it's not, because we've seen how games are nowadays. I hop on my PlayStation, I press download, I can do it from my phone, download, good to go. Right? I hope that this isn't that extra step that makes it where people are like, you know what? I don't want to get this game.
I'll even go as far to say that the current way is not very good. I like that it's convenient, right? You can download it from your app. What if your internet's out? Can you play games?
That's true.
No, there's all of a sudden you need a license agreement, and it's like, well, you can't play this game. So I think that it just depends. It depends on what kind of lifestyle you have. If I live in a downtown area, I usually have internet. When there's storms, I live next to a school, I usually have internet and power. Very rarely do I run out of the resources to be able to play games. But these are just questions I have. I'm like, okay, if I run into this right now with my PlayStation and we're just making more things digital or online, is it going to be more issues? And I think the answer is yes. Yeah. But I would love to be proven wrong. I will give something. When you look at trophies, achievements in Xbox or PlayStation, I know Nintendo is not planning on having a trophy system.
Right.
Cool. What if, Dreamer here, what if we threw back to like Xbox 360 days?
Okay.
Where when you beat games or you did certain achievements, it would unlock clothing or accessories for your Mii.
I remember you talking about this, and this would be a nice implement. They could implement this very well. I like where you're going with this, because even though they don't have the trophy system, which I would love to see, because me getting like the classic 64, like the trophies for that, oh yeah, for sure. If I can get Mario Galaxy trophies, I would love that too. But for what you're talking about, that would be nice to implement. It's not full commitment, but they can have a bit of engagement.
I mean, you play Mario Odyssey, you beat it, you get a new Donk City shirt that goes for your Mii character. And then when you play Smash Brothers and you make a Mii fighter, they have a Smash Brothers or a Mario shirt that you unlocked from beating Odyssey. It's like ways that I'm not going to complain as much about an $80 game if I can go over and when I'm racing in Mario Kart, my Mii character has my outfit on with my favorite video game that I beat, or I have a helmet that is, reminiscent of the Donkey Kong game that I beat because it looks like a Donkey Kong head.
That'd be cool.
It would be very cool, and it'd be an incentive to not only beat games fully, I'd want to buy every game in the Rolodex. You're talking about waiting you're talking prior to the podcast.
Yeah.
We were talking about buying a Switch, and you're like, hey, I'll wait till that game Rolodex is twice what the Switch is because I still have games to play.
Right.
How much quicker would you be to go out and buy those games if there was a cross game incentive? When you play Mario Kart, you have a helmet. You have these accessories that came from Legend of Zelda. They came from Mario Party. They came from Donkey Kong. So then you're like, well, I gotta buy the other games and get those for the accessories.
Matt, you're making a really good point.
Nintendo, hit me up.
You're making a really good point.
Hit me up, Nintendo. I'm cheap. I'm super cheap.
I'll tell you right now, I would be a lot more fluid. And like, hey, if you take Matt, I'm telling you right now.
Oh, Clifford's coming.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
We're a duo.
Yeah, there's
Mario and Luigi. He's Mario.
Exactly. I'm Mario.
Yeah, dude, I want to
No
be
way.
Luigi.
Okay,
look at
you
this
can be
right here. I
Luigi.
got Luigi right here on my microphone.
But you have a red hat on. Come on.
That's
What's
just
like
because
the-
I like red. I'll be red Luigi. Roigi.
There we go.
I just think back, and I think back to like certain things. I really loved Halo, and I like that whenever I beat Halo on Legendary, it gave me like a warthog for my character.
Yeah.
I like that whenever I got all the achievements, it gave me a Spartan helmet for my character. I just think little things like that are so easily doable for companies, but it leads to, in their mind, little incentive because it may not have a money attachment to it.
Yeah.
People will still pay money too. I know that there's points where they had things that you could pay for that were accessories for those characters.
Yeah.
If Nintendo offered that, people would still buy it. I just want it to be available.
And honestly, they could have both. They could have it where you could purchase certain things, but there's exclusive items that you need to beat this game on hard, or you need to beat this game completely, or collect everything.
Or you need to play during this time period. Oh, it's Lunar New Year? Hop in. You've got 1 week to get this item for this game, this game, this game. Kind of like Twitch drops.
I like that. I'll tell you right now, that would make me play my Switch a lot more, for sure.
Anything else on the Switch 2 you're looking forward to? Rather than the fictitious things that we're making up?
For sure. I would say I like the magnetic clasp that it has to itself. I feel like so mine, I've customized mine. It's a transparent purple, and I know when I did it myself, of course, clearly, you might not get everything exactly as tight fit as factory, right? But what I will notice is that even before that, when it comes to sliding that thing on, sliding it back off, after some time, it feels a little loose. So I think having that magnetic clap to it would probably give me the satisfaction of like, okay, I know this is still staying fresh, pristine, that piece.
Do you think that's going to be as easy to mod?
That's actually a really good question. I think it would be, but I think since they added so much more hardware to it, I think it's going to be a lot more sensitive. I will say when I was working on my first one, the controller has about 3 layers of tech. So there's wirings that kind of flex cables that are kind of wiring up multiple times. Okay. So it's a 3-story layer of like tech. So I don't know what it'd look like now, but I know that I had to be really gentle when I was working with the controllers. So, but that's something I'm really excited for.
I'm excited to see too. I'm excited to see the little customs that come out of it.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some good ones for sure.
Well, speaking of upcoming things we're looking forward to, GTA. What are your thoughts? Are you excited for GTA 6?
Man, there is so much excitement for it. I personally haven't played a GTA in a good minute. I skipped out on 5. San Andreas, always a favorite. It's crazy to have this GTA so close to home. I know you feel that too. It would be crazy if it was our city, but
it's
right down the
It's
street.
gonna have our city for sure.
Yeah,
our city is absolutely gonna be in that game.
That's gonna be wild.
I will say, I had someone approach me and say that we forgot a shout out in the co-op episode.
No way.
San Andreas.
Ooh.
And I was like, they're absolutely correct.
That
San
is
Andreas
true.
Did have the ability. Did you play San Andreas and ever use co-op?
No, I haven't. I thought I did. That is definitely haven't tried that out.
So I did not play a lot of GTA. Parents wouldn't allow me. Was not allowed to have it in the house.
Okay.
So what would end up happening is hanging out at the friend's house. Hey, I need a little help. He'd run on San Andreas to a local spot. And what I mean by local is like in the physical city, you'd run in a little alleyway. And it'd be like a little 2 red people emblem. And if you ran on it and you had 2 controllers plugged in, you could do co-op. It was hilarious because you could kiss each other and stuff. But he obviously didn't want me to kiss his character. So it was just one of those moments where you could go around, steal cars, do the fun stuff you do in GTA together. But the negative is you had to stay in the same screen. So like physically you could run like maybe 30 feet away.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're like, please keep up with me.
Like, we're trying to go this direction. Please follow through.
What are your hopes? What right now we can create anything we want. What are your hopes for GTA's co-op?
I think it's gonna reside in like the mini games of just like, let's say like playing pool or playing. I know that there was mentions of playing basketball. I think like football, anything. Like, they're getting to this point where they've had this game for so long. I feel like there should be so many different mini games.
That's what you're looking forward to? You want to play those sports together?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I think mine, I'm like, I hope there's like a cops and robbers RP thing built in.
There has to be.
I hope there's some type of system where maybe they have radios built into the cars so people don't have to be in Discord. It could be an actual in-game thing.
That would be cool.
I think a lot of those local features would make it a little bit more realistic. I don't want to say realistic because like the game has a lot of realistic features, but there's certain things in real life. A great example that I don't recall if you brought it up, if it was one of my friends when I was talking, but they were talking about when you drive in a car in GTA and you're in first person, your hands are just on the steering wheel. In the new GTA, in the trailer, when he's driving, you see him shifting. It shows his hand shifting the gears. And it's little things like that where it's like, it's not necessary. I don't think you have to have a hand shifting gears for me to be like, man, this is really great. But adding that little extra I'm like, okay, that's pretty fire.
You got my attention.
Yeah, well, and it really like puts me in the character when I'm playing as this person and I'm a robber or a thief or an ex-cop or whatever. None of these things in real life. So it's nice to be able to play that. And even the things that you notice in real life, specifically if you're driving a 6-speed, you're used to that.
Yeah.
You're used to like kind of paying attention and maybe when you put it in neutral, smacking it back and forth. You know what I mean? Like little habits. But to have your character do that, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm really this person.
Do you think I know you mentioned like cops and robbers. Do you remember if I think 5 had it where you could do heists, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I didn't play. This is what I'm saying. I only played the co-op on San Andreas. I didn't play 5. I didn't play 3. I didn't play Vice City.
I played Vice City. I'm almost positive in 5 there's like a really hard trophy for like certain heists that you do, because I know that's one of like the last things end game that you're doing with a lot of people. I feel like they would definitely bring that cops and robbers type of situation over. I really do.
I'll make you a deal since there's going to be a little span of time from this episode to the next. I'll play GTA 5 and I'll let you know.
Okay. I got you.
Anything else from GTA 6 that you are hoping is a feature?
I think features probably, weird enough, I think the features are probably going to be the landscapes. Since I've been to Miami and stuff like that, I want to see all the spots that I've been to. I think that's probably like one of the biggest appeals. Because if you've ever played like any game, like I know there's a lot of people that I know from New York, and when they play like New York games, like Spider-Man and stuff like that, oh man, they lose it. They're like, man, I know this block, and like it's very nice. It's very cool to be playing a game that's actually like your hometown. So I think that's probably like the closest thing. And I know that you mentioned that they should have it incorporate Orlando, so it'd be really cool to see.
I think that I have faith in Rockstar.
Yeah.
So that's where like $2 billion invested this much time. I have faith that they're going to pull it off. You really have me thinking about how much I want it to be based on real things and how much I want them to add in that flavor of the over-the-topness of GTA.
Yeah.
You know, because when you do play Spider-Man, it is one for one, essentially. It basically is New York, and then you're in New York as Spider-Man.
Right.
I know that this is not going to be Florida, GTA 6 Florida,
right.
But it is very much GTA 6 here is Florida from an embellished perspective.
Yeah.
So I do hope there's those landmarks that are close to home, but I also hope they take things that are environments or behaviors from this area that you'd know from living, and they embellish it.
really give it a polish, a big shine.
I know, I could give you an example. Vice City is not Miami. It is Miami, but like they do things over the top. The murder, the strip clubs, the partying, right? Like it's over the top, but it's over the top because if you live there, you're like, okay, these are things you may run into. These are things that exist here.
Yeah.
I hope that they did the research to go to those little small towns and have a little bit of flavor, that those small town people would be like, wow, they really encapsulated where I'm from.
Now, I will say when we watched the trailer, there was a moment where one of the bartenders was ringing a bell, and everyone's either getting a drink or someone broke a rule, and like now that person's maybe paying for a drink. And I think that was like a nice little piece, and I think that kind of ties into what you're saying.
No, it is, because like if you go out to Cocoa Beach, right, and you go to Coconuts, what are you gonna do? They ring the little bell when everyone's buying shots, like everyone's having a good time. So I think that you're nailing it on the head.
Absolutely.
Getting away from GTA 6, this monster.
Yes.
Are you excited for Gears of War, the remaster?
I'm excited to see that co-op part and play with you. That is probably the biggest thing, because I know growing up, I had a lot, you always had that split of friends. They're either on PlayStation, on Xbox. I never was on the Xbox side, but Gears of War was so highly talked of that I knew I wanted to play it. And I never got around to actually like fully going through the whole campaign. So now having the opportunity to, it's going to be nice.
It'll be my pleasure to beat the Dom to your Phoenix.
There we go.
I just think that it's been long enough. I haven't played it since I had a 360, and I really look forward to getting to re-experience it kind of fresh because I don't remember it.
Yeah.
The graphics look fire. They doubled the frame rate or tripled the frame rate. It's kind of crazy. I think it's 120 FPS, so like that's going to be crazy to play on. And yeah, the co-op's going to be dope. The co-op's going to be very, very good. Are there any first-person shooters that you're looking forward to?
So the one that's sitting on my mind would be Body Cam. And I know you've seen like some clips from it. This is being made by 2 developers. So the production is a lot slower than what anyone else would be expecting, but I have to applaud them for doing it. If you've never seen it, it really gives you the POV of almost like a police officer having a body cam on, close to that, and it feels very real. I expected, like, looking at this, it felt like a next generation like Battlefield game. I've liked it. It looks really good. It's in its first like alpha stage, so you can play it now, but they don't really have too many game modes. They have maps. It's growing every single day, and hopefully they get to a point where they have like a full release.
I'm not gonna lie, from the clips that you see, it looks like the POV of a police officer's body cam, or someone who's doing like extreme sports and wearing like a GoPro.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see the arms reached out, the actual kick, the blur. When things are going past you, it like affects your vision.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like a very, very intense first-person shooter experience. So I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard of Judas?
No, I haven't. Is that your first-person shooter?
I would say Gears of War is probably the shooter that I'm most excited for, but if I was going to give you one first-person shooter that caught my attention, have you ever played BioShock?
I've played BioShock Infinite.
That's okay, so that works. Any of the BioShock series, anytime you've seen that art style, the hand up, kind of shaky, quivering, has magic power, has the ability to control fire or electricity, Judas gives that vibe.
Okay.
I don't know what the game holds, so I'm not going to get into this long spiel. All I can tell you is it looks very similar to a BioShock game, where you have bright colors, you've got animation, you've got this liveliness to the world, but also it's like raw. Like I feel at any moment I'm going to get my arm blown off, or I'm going to get damaged. So I don't know. I'm not really having a ton of first-person shooters that popped up on the radar, but Judas, absolutely there. Shooting games in general, definitely Gears of War.
Okay, I like that. I know with Judas, I saw like a bit of a clip of it, and I see the comparison between BioShock. The animation in BioShock, it almost looks like they're in pain when they use powers and stuff like that. It almost looks just like not just enjoyable.
They got the crackhead hands. They
yeah, like they're shaking as they're doing this. So to see that same like method being replicated, I can see where the connection's there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
RPGs? Any RPGs for me?
Ooh, I got 3. I got 3 RPGs I'm really excited for.
Hit me with one, because I've got a bunch too. We'll shoot back and forth.
Okay. The Witcher 4. Man, oh man, Matt. I tell you, people, I went through a lot on The Witcher 3. I've had deleted save files, I think 3 times. I still played it through. I got a platinum. Still a really good game. That's just a testament to how good that game was. Seeing 4 and knowing how they're going to carry out the rest of the story, I'm really excited to see.
I've not played The Witcher. I have the books.
Yes.
I have watched the show. Great books, great show, great game. So when you look at a series, like they're pretty much winning in all fronts.
They are, yeah.
I can tell you from the trailer and not having the knowledge, wow, it looks really, really good. It looks polished. It looks like, without giving anything away, The Witcher that is playing has a lot of grit.
Very gritty, very gritty.
And
that's a perfect word.
Unexpected. Big things come in small packages sometimes. And I would really say that this game is going to change my perspective of the strength of Witchers.
Yes.
Because when you read books or you watch the show and you realize these Witchers are insanely strong, but also there can be strength gaps between Witchers.
Yes.
So I'm just excited. I really should dive back into Witcher 3, get some of that in, but I'm not going to lie, it looks good, dude.
3 still, I want to say 3 is still worth playing if you ever get a chance to, but
as someone who platinumed it, what would you want to be different? You spoke so highly.
Yeah.
I know that story-wise they're going to hit it. What's the one change you'd want to see from a Witcher 3 to a Witcher 4 platform?
I would say probably smoother movement. Probably be the first one. The character you're playing now looks a little bit more agile than playing the previous one. So, like, there was a lot of moments where you felt like your strafing was a little bit, it was a lot of effort to it. You can tell that it was a lot of energy to it. So I think just the movement hopefully is a little bit more smoother. But dude, the game's pretty well polished. I mean, even I think the crazy part is that, like, when you play The Witcher 3, if you mess up on a quest, like, it'll say you failed the quest and you can't go back to it, and it'll like permanently be stained as a situation. There's just so many different good things about that game. I really wouldn't change much. I hope they keep that same formula, to be honest with you.
And that's why I knew it's a very nitpicky question, because it's obviously a phenomenal game if you've come back that many times to platinum it.
Yeah.
But also I think of you as an Assassin's Creed player, and you play across this huge series, and I think the biggest takeaway I've heard from everyone who's played the new series is when you play the guy and you play the girl, they have such different gameplay styles.
Yes.
So that's where I think a little tweak there, you bring a little of that Assassin's Creed flavor, right? You bring a little bit of agility for tinier people, strength and brutism for these bigger people. I think it would really like give a little bit more fleshing out to a world that's already fleshed out.
Yeah.
But, little ways to improve it.
No, that's spot on. I think I love that you brought up Assassin's Creed. I haven't talked about it in a little minute. But I will say is that throughout the course, as you play different assassins, it's the same concept that you're just mentioning. You have that different like style to each one of them. You play Ezio, he's a flex, like he plays with a little bit of flair. You play Connor, he's a brute. He's going for the kill. He doesn't care how he gets it. So I think seeing that same style, hopefully I see that. And from the trailer on just how things are being executed, I was seeing that. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, a little sneak peek, the beheading with a little extra oomph.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Ooh, and there was another one where it was like chopping off like a spider leg, and then you didn't hack all the way through, so you punched the sword. Come on. That's the definition of gritty. So
I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'm more excited for that or for Ghost of Yotei.
Oh, please start us off with it.
I mean, no, I played Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I thought it was phenomenal. I really liked the ending options you had. I liked the stylistic choices they chose for the fighting. The actual outfits were pretty phenomenal. I thought that the way that you would traverse and get skill levels and skill points through mini games and haikus and cutting through bamboo, I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So as long as they can encapsulate that vibe, that feel, that overall recipe that kind of came out to be a beautiful story, if they can capture that, I'm all about it. It being 200 or 300 years in the future, I hope they don't do ghost flashbacks or like the Force, right? Like you have a Jedi ghost. Like I don't want any of that. Just give me a new story.
Yeah.
Give me a dynasty or a culture that is in the future that has had lasting impact from the fight that we had in the old game.
Right.
That's how I want it to be. If they had that feature that was in some of the older games like Mass Effect, where the choices you made impact the game, cool. If they don't, cool. I'm ready to get back into like feudal Japan. I want to ride some horses. I want to fight some bad guys.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I like that. And I'm going to say this prediction now. I think what they'll do is they'll have moments where you'll go to a shrine and it will be the previous character. Or you'll go to his original like hometown and you'll see a shrine of him. Something of that sort. That's what I think it'll be. Or it'll be like a great-great-grandfather situation and it's like you just see a picture of him painted somewhere and you look for guidance or something of that sort.
I agree. I think that is what they're going to do and I'm scared. I hope there's a healthy middle ground.
Yeah.
I hope it is shrines that do not have a spirit, but maybe have his clothing, his shoes, his hat, his sword. And then it's one of those situations where Assassin's Creed, you're going out to get the old pieces, right, that make up that armor. That would be a really healthy way to go about it for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't write the story, so you do whatever you want.
Right.
But, that's where 300 years is a really long time.
It is.
Whenever I think about spirits, ghosts, people staying around, I usually think they stay around because they did not do something correct.
Right.
They messed up. They need retribution. They were wrong. The whole point that made Ghost of Tsushima good was you were the one that dictated what was the right movement forward for the country.
Exactly.
And I would just feel that him being left there for X amount of years as a spirit would just be showing that you didn't do the right thing.
It's true.
And that's just me getting really narratively deep into it, but that's where my brain goes.
But that's the point of it. I think the idea of like you went through so much and the idea of that he didn't reach or at least get to a certain milestone that he was supposed to, that'd be a little bit upsetting. It was a really good game and I think moments like that would diminish the original game and that's what we don't want,
Yeah.
When I see this, I do hope, I know that there was like the DLC, I don't know if you got a chance to play it yet.
Never went back.
No worries. The DLC, and I'll just mention a bit, I don't want to spoil anything, but it has certain parts where there's hallucinations, and I hope that they don't play into these hallucinations to tie him back in. I think that's the closest thing that I can also see them using if they wanted to bring him back in some way to show off something.
Yeah. And I think that again, it's not a bad choice. I just think there's other choices that are better.
Exactly. But like when you look at them taking this route, they did 200 years for a reason. They clearly want to tell a different story. So I think they're definitely going to leave him out of it for the most part, not to drag it out or anything of that sort.
I think they're going to too.
Yeah.
I have faith. I
Me
think
too.
They're going to too.
They did such a good job on the first one. But yeah, that's awesome. There is another game that you definitely got to see. I told you it looked like Elden Rings a little bit. Expedition 33. This game is out right now. It just came out like a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. And potentially, the expedition started around, should be 100 years old. And what the concept of it is, there is this deity that's almost called like the painter. And they paint this number And this is the number of the age of the people that can come in to try to fight her. Now, if you don't win this fight, she paints a new number. It goes down by 1, and everyone that was at that age disappears. Thanos snapped away, like they're gone. Disintegrated. So, to let you know that the game started off at the age 33, that means all these numbers, all these years, people have been trying to fight her and have been losing. And you have to go through all these different areas, these biomes, all the way just to try to get to her. But just picture, that's 77 different years of people trying to fight her.
And not existing anymore. So no one over that age exists anymore. So no one above 34. Everyone 34 years old and older, dead.
That's it. So when you hear that, right, you also think like everyone that's older than that, the knowledge that they have is gone too. That's the crazy part. So you're getting less chances to make certain things happen, make things right. It's a really cool game. I've seen clips of it. The animation looks really good. It's a turn-based. I'm really excited to play it. I've had some close friends tell me some good reviews, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Expedition 33. You heard it here. I have to go back to Baldur's Gate 3. You know, that is the agenda for the end of the year. I've got 3 RPGs I need to platinum before 2025 is over. Oblivion, remastered, gotta do it. Just, I put so many hours on an Xbox 360. Love the game. I think they did a great job. Mm-hmm. I want to get that on my PlayStation Rolodex where I have that platinum. Yeah. Skyrim, gotta go back. I don't love the game, but I have 93% of the trophies, so I need to dedicate, a month of time, knock it out, get the platinum. Also, that'll be my 24th and 25th platinum. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to seal this little chapter off.
Absolutely. Get the right milestone.
I really bring these up because Baldur's Gate is the one that I really need to dive in with you at the end of the year. Yeah. I think we should close the year off with a difficult platinum, but I need a Dark Urge playthrough for sure.
For sure.
Dark Urge, Tactician.
Is it Act 2 that you need to be in?
It's kind of weird. You have 2 things you need to do. You have to play Dark Urge, and you have to get to Act 2, and you have to let the urge happen. Essentially, you need to do the wrong thing or the right thing, however you perceive that. And then you have to beat the game as Dark Urge, because there is a alternate ending that you only get if you're Dark Urge and you've gone a darker path. I did the darker path, and I got all of those unlocked, but I did not get the alternate ending because I wasn't Dark Urge.
I gotcha. Okay. We can make that
I'll be honest though, Baldur's Gate 3, I think that's one of those games, regardless of trophy hunting, I just think if you're into role-playing games or D&D or any kind of mythical world that you just dive into, I think Baldur's Gate's got the crown.
It's very immersive.
It's
very
phenomenal.
Immersive.
I played 250 hours, and I always am excited to get into another game, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy.
I think I'm at 100, 150. I'm still playing. I'm not having any issues. There was this goblin castle area that they took over, and I had to wipe that place clean. And Matt, I'll tell you right now, none of them survived.
Oh yeah,
none of them.
Oh yeah. And I'll be honest, there comes points where it just feels like you versus an army.
Yeah.
Because you have the 4 people, and now that there's mod support, I love that people have the ability to do mods. I know I will never touch them because of trophies.
I was checking out the mods, and there's 12 pages, and there's 15 on each one.
The first one that everyone went for was how do I make the boobs bigger? I'm like, guys, what is wrong with everyone? The biggest mod I think I would want to play is larger parties, so you can have your whole camp with you. I think just coming to a fight with 15 or 20 of your friends rather than 4 versus 50 is a little bit more reasonable. And I would say the only complaint I have in BG3 is when I'm fighting too many people, the time in between me attacking and me attacking again is just 10 minutes.
It is, because you'll get to an area, you'll have maybe squad of 4, or you might have a +1 that's joining you because of some special situation, and it's one person after another just swinging at you.
One guy hits a freaking battle drum, calls in 10 more people from another room.
You see that one person dash, and they get right in front of your character, so next turn they're swinging at you. The fun part about that though is like it's a bit of touch of stress because it is a turn-based game, but as you see things unfold, you're like, man, I need this to be my turn because things are getting bad. It's getting dark.
Or just come in with a better strategy, right? Like sometimes you come in, you try to brute your way through a building,
right?
And you're like, okay, well, first thing, they're all going to try to kill me. Maybe we fight on the other side of this doorway, and then they're going to have to funnel through this door. Or you lock the door once a couple people get through with magic, and you just beat the ever-living day out of their friends before you open up the door again.
Yeah, exactly.
I think tactician mode, gonna have to use those strategies so much.
And crazy enough, my first playthrough is on tactician mode. I'm getting my butt kicked a lot. Now, I will tell you, just like how you mentioned, like, you have to play things smart. There was like a certain dwarf that could bring other dead dwarves back to life. And every time I got to this area, certain sequence of situations happen, and he gets mad. He brings everyone back from the dead, and it's like 12 of them. And they're all just like crazy strong. I don't understand why dwarves are so strong. Don't understand it. But it got to the point where I lost like maybe 7 times. I was fed up with it. I was like, I need to do something else. I've been trying to be very like smooth with starting off, attack this person, block this, like stare away, oh, get this person before they run over here, oh, this one's dashing, all this other stuff. I got to the point where I just went there early, picked up all the dead bodies, and put them on the other side of the map.
Yep.
I showed up, he had no goons for them to run hands on me. I was like, okay, let's see what you can do now. So I think I love that you mentioned that. And Tactician's definitely been training me to think about this game a little bit differently, because I can't get away with all the, oh, I'll just do this.
I'm going to have to play as a bard again. I'm telling you, you can talk your way out of so many situations.
I should have played a bard. I think I would have had a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
I think a Dark Urge bard would be very weird, so we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see.
I'd like to see it.
Are there any other RPGs that you're looking forward to playing before the end of the year or before next season?
I feel like those are the main ones. I know there's also Borderlands as well. Borderlands 4.
It looks really polished.
Looks very clean. The last one that I truly played was 2, and I put like a good amount of time into 2. 2 was a lot of people speak highly of it. I hope they bring that same energy. They definitely bring the comedy in the ones in between. I've seen a bit of the comedy, and it's there. It's still there. And I think that's some of the part that makes the game so good. There's like these certain like soldiers that would always try to arrest people, but they would do it in a weird way and stuff like that. And you can kind of talk your way out of it by just being smarter than them. But I'm hoping that they still bring the comedy. They bring that funness. They bring that originality that they had in the second one to the fourth one.
I think they're going to tweak back the amount of comedy that they were leaning on in 3.
Okay.
And focus more on the gunplay they had in 2. I think it's going to be just as funny as 2.
Gotcha.
I think 2 was perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be on that boat with the hype train. I think 2 is pretty close to perfect. I think 3, they leaned a little bit too much into comedy and the art style and the over-the-topness, and it kind of lost, like, you had a handful of guns you're going to play with. I think this game is going to reel it back. It's going to lean back into comedy and guns. We're going to have really solid comedy, really solid timing, but you're going to really want to find what guns you want to play with, and they're going to feel different. So nice. I have hope. I have big hope for Borderlands 4.
It's going to be good to see.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Battle Royales. I don't care about them. I got nothing. But you were talking about the Sonic games, and I'm not going to lie. You sparked a little hope in my heart.
It's a little hope. Matt, listen, I feel the same way about Battle Royales. There's not too many that are out there. It's very specific ones that, I'm willing to play. Not like, just willing to play.
I'm
There's
looking
some
at you,
that
Fortnite. We're looking at you.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I'll tell you right now, this one's called Sonic Rumble, and potentially you're playing Mario Party kind of like layouts, almost like Fall Guys as well, but you're playing with all of the Sonic cast. It looks really fun. It looks inviting. It's characters that I have always known, loved, grown up with. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. Hopefully they don't go over the top. They keep it nice and classic and then do some add-ons here and there.
I'm excited. I'm just looking at it. I never played Sonic as a kid. Never really had Sega. I had a Dreamcast. When I got the Dreamcast, I wasn't playing, Sonic games. I was more into like Power Stone and Mortal Kombat. Gotcha. But when I think of Mario, when I think of Donkey Kong, when I think of any classic, I think Sonic is like right there neck and neck.
Yeah,
I really think Sonic has such a loyal following, and he's got great music. So I'll give a Battle Royale a try. I liked Fall Guys.
Yeah.
So, if it can capture that goofiness and, be over the top, but not too over the top, right?
Yeah.
I would definitely be down to knock the coins out of some people.
Oh, absolutely. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully they do a good job on that. I love that you mentioned the music, too. There's, like, this instrumental of, like, Green Hill, and it sounds beautiful. I'm going to play it for you afterwards.
Please.
Sounds absolutely amazing.
Please. Turn it on. I'm going to run down the block. I want you to time how fast I am.
Well, it's kind of peaceful, so you might just turn into doing a jog to a walk to sleeping on the side.
Then we're just going to see. We're going to see. Stepping off of Sonic, staying in the same realm of type of games. Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild. Have you touched either?
No, but I will tell you on my puzzle side of games that I'd want to play, Breath of the Wild, you've spoken so highly of it. You've told me like how you can really play with the mechanics, the physics of it too, and I love games where you can play with the physics. I think one, it's just a wonderful way to just see how like developers have put in work into games, and two, just to see physics being played in like a very fun way. It's nice.
I love that you bring that up because that's the excitement I have for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, I think, is puzzle based. Adventure, you're on this positive. It's so sunny, it's exciting, it's fun. My interpretation without playing Tears of the Kingdom is your building mechanics, how you solve puzzles with these physical resources, and how you deal with the dark side of Hyrule. Gotcha. That's kind of the vibes I'm getting. Super excited to play. I haven't had anything ruined even after all this time.
That's good.
So, super thankful. I do have a side note to bring up. We started talking about the Switch 2, and we were talking about game prices. Would you ever consider waiting longer to play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom to play the upgraded graphical version? And this is a two-parter. Yeah. Would you wait, and do you think that if you pay for the original, like right now I have Breath of the Wild, I have Tears of the Kingdom, do you think it should be a pay-to-upgrade for graphics, even if it's $10 or $20, or do you think they should just give you a code? What are your thoughts, Clifford?
My first opinion is, I'll let you know, there's so many games that are just on my roster. I think I can really, if I need to, if I'm like, you know what, I'll benefit from playing this game later because it'll either, one, be on discount, or two, I can give it the proper time.
First thing, it's Nintendo. You're insane. Discount if you steal it, maybe.
Listen, it's 2025. All these things are happening. You never know.
Nintendo's like, you know what? The game's been out for 3 years. Charge $20 more. That's what they do. They wouldn't even bring it down.
It's a vintage upcharge.
But I totally get what you mean. Waiting that time, there absolutely are deals sometimes for, Christmas, for New Year's, for new launch. So, like, jokes aside, I get what you mean. Yeah. It's not something you need to get this moment because if there is a discount, if there is a sale, you're going to just pick it up.
Right. And it's crazy because if this game, let's say this game was coming out when I was younger and there's only a few amount of games dropping at a time, oh, yes. Yes, we're getting this as soon as possible because we don't have that big of a library. I think now there's just so many games out there. There's games that me and you have shared with one another and we're like, I've never seen this game before in my life and it looks good. Yeah. So I think we've reached a point where there's just so many different games that you could tie into. So if there's a situation where I'm like, man, price isn't I'm not feeling that price right now. That's fine. I'll put it on the back burner. I have 4 other games that I'm probably going to put at least 500 hours in or more. Who knows? So,
I mean, we just talked about Witcher, and we've talked about a bunch of big ticket games: Skyrim, Oblivion, Baldur's Gate. So, like, I get that.
Yeah,
I get it.
Now you had a second question. What was your second question? I was trying to
when
remember.
you purchase a game.
Yes.
So you have Tears of the Kingdom, you have Breath of the Wild, you have X game.
Yeah.
And then a new system comes out with upgraded graphics.
Yes.
Like, what are your thoughts? Seriously, do you think that you should have to pay? Do you think that you should maybe get a code to just download that game? Where do you fall? Are you in the middle? Do you think it just depends?
I think it should be the same price. Only because, yes, I recognize that there is that dev team that's putting in more work to have better resolution, but also that dev team is not making a new game.
So you're saying that when you get the new one, you should be able to download it. You shouldn't have to pay again. It should be inclusive of that original price.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, for example, like, I'll give, let's say, Minecraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a PlayStation 4 version and a PlayStation 5 version. I can't tell the difference. Not one bit. But there's a version for both of them. Clearly, on the 5th one, it supposedly runs better. It's X, Y, and Z is better about it. But it is such a minimal thing that sometimes when it comes to them doing like version upgrades, it's not because they're trying to add too much stuff. They're just trying to make it available to you. And I think that's the biggest part to it. So I don't think we should lean into, we brought this over to this console, so now it should be a higher charge. It's more like, hey, like, this is available to you, and this is the same game that you've already played, and it's the same content.
I can appreciate that. I just don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot lately because, like, I think of certain games like Cyberpunk that came out and just didn't meet the needs of the system that it was on.
Yeah.
So people really needed a PS5 or needed a stronger system to be able to run it. Those are the times where I'm like, I find it hard for you to charge for someone to get that upgrade. It is a free upgrade, for the record, with that game.
Yeah.
But then there's games now that are coming out for the Switch 2 that are Switch 1 games that are just upgraded, like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. And I do have a hard time when I look at the games already more expensive, the system's more expensive, and then I have to pay to upgrade the graphics of the old game. I wish there were some things that would like fall into that.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't have to pay the $10 upgrade fee if I have Nintendo Direct, like online. Like I have the online subscription.
Right.
So like, okay, well you're paying as a monthly subscription or you're paying annually. So here's this reward.
Yeah.
Nintendo and PlayStation both are very tight to chest with things that are good for consumers. And by good, I mean things that consumers want.
Yeah.
That they don't have to pay for. And it's just hard. It's hard. I know I'm like trying to get something out of this for free, but it's just like games are only getting more expensive in a lot of facets, from the hardware to you have to have better internet to you have to have better headphones. Like it really does matter if you're trying to be competitive in some games.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to find areas. I'm like, I can see why. You can see why in some cases I can't. So I really wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I love that you bring up like the certain types of cases to it, because like if I'm playing a single player and I know that maybe the graphics and it runs a little bit smoother, of course I'm having a better experience. So I can understand why you'd want to add in a charge, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I'll remember the graphics to a certain extent, but I'm really here for the story. I'm really here for just the gameplay. So I think if it was, let's say they were upgrading the graphics and the added content onto it, then I would be like, okay, I can completely agree with that. Everything's going to look better and you added some missions for me. Okay. It's a little different.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
the answer, like Oblivion Remastered, I had zero problem spending $50.
Okay.
I had zero problem spending $50 because whether or not objectively you like the game, because there are people who are just, they have opinions, right? I think that they put effort into making it crisper and cleaner. all of the bugs that were there before, running through skin grad and it lagging, all of those little issues they've buffed out. And on top of it, they added the content that you used to have to pay for into the game. So it's a $50 remaster. It's cheaper than a current game, $60, $70, $80.
Yeah.
It has all the content that you used to have to pay $5, $10, $15 for. It just, I don't know. I feel like they really, and it's rare because I'm out here bashing Tim sometimes. I'm bashing Bethesda sometimes. I feel like they really nailed the remaster. They landed. You brought a good game. You brought good quality. You gave us something nostalgic. You didn't touch it too much, so you still have the fun that was there. But they really knew the price point solid, the content solid. I'm happy.
I love that you brought up remaster, and I don't think we haven't talked about remastered yet, but we will soon. Very, very soon we will. I think there is a small difference between a remaster and just a newer version for the console. So I love that you tied that in, because a certain remaster, I can see me putting the money down for. It'll have that, that DLC that I didn't pay for previously, or it'll have that, extra content pieces of like gear or equipment, and it's all just in one bundle, and it's just one new game. That's it. So I can definitely see the price there. I'm fine with that. But if it's a game that was just coded over so it can work on a different console or PC or whatever that may be in the case, that's the part where I'm like, you're selling me the same game. You just made it accessible to me.
Did you ever buy a game a second time but buy the collector's edition or the ultimate edition?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like there's one or two.
That was the physical copy way of making us do the same thing.
Oh, man, that's true.
They're like, hey, you paid $50 for this game originally.
Yeah.
And then there was like a few DLCs that came out, and maybe you paid for them. But then there comes out the collector's edition. They put the little tag at the top, that little red or the little gold or the little banner. And you're like, oh, man, I think I want it. And what is it? It's the same game with everything just added into it. And it's just funny because, again, this is where I just play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay. Real Matt, I don't think I should pay if I've already paid. But I can also get behind paying $10 for a port, $50 for a remaster, opposed to $50 for a bundle that maybe I already had and you're just grouping it. But also I think that's just me being a product of, it's been bad. It's been hard out here.
Yeah.
These game companies been giving it to us for a long time, and we just take whatever they give us.
They have. But I will say I'm glad that we have, some games have their game passes and subscriptions, so you can grab that big game that, they're saying, you know what, people aren't buying as much of this, let's throw it in there where it's in the subscriptions. So if someone wants to play it, they can. I downloaded Hogwarts just yesterday, and I didn't really have any plans of paying for it, dropping that $60. But now I'm about to run through it. And Matt, before you say anything, I'll tell you right now,
I hate it. I'm still gonna say it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate you forever.
If you want to get that platinum, this is the time. I'll walk through with you.
I'll never do it.
I'll walk through.
Hogwarts,
You let me know. It's
I've
downloaded.
never been so. You know what? J.K. Rowling herself couldn't make me hate this game more, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. I hate the game so much. J.K. herself couldn't make me hate it more.
But it's only because of that one trophy. That's the only reason.
It's
why,
just,
right?
I cannot believe it got glitched after all that. And then there's patch notes and, hey, we fixed the collectibles. No, you didn't. I can go play it right now and load my game because I still have the save and it's still going to say 99%. I'm going to go to that damn chest and I'm going to go out by a creek. I'm going to open it. And you know what's going to happen? Nothing.
I want you to try.
I will. I'll make you a deal. The moment we're done with this podcast, I'm going to stream it and I'm going to show you. I'm going to physically go in the other room and you're going to come with me. I'm going to show
for sure. I definitely want to see it. Definitely want to see it.
All right, let me get off this rant. You know what? I hope the best for Hogwarts Legacy for you. I know you're going to love it. Give you a little lesson. Do you know what Hufflepuff is in Portuguese?
No.
Lufa.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got nothing else.
Nice.
I don't know any of the other ones. So
that's
don't
cool
ask me.
though.
But I know Lufa is it's Hufflepuff. What are your thoughts for Mario Kart World?
You know, I think weirdly enough, seeing the content of it made me pull away a little bit.
That's genuine.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Context. I made him watch like 30 minutes before he started this podcast. I just kept playing Mario Kart videos.
And
Tell me why.
Hey, I've seen the video previously, but watching it again, I don't know if they've reached a point where they're trying to add things that might not just fit. I don't know if they're reaching that point, because you know, when you start to replicate something, like we were talking earlier about how Brawl Ultimate, that's kind of it, right? They'll keep adding characters to that one, but if they remade it, what would that even look like? It would look like the same thing, would it not?
I mean, yeah, I don't think that this is where it's hard. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
I think that true. Mario Kart's done it, but I would counter, and I can agree with you. And I'll counter my own thought process of thinking it's perfect with this. We watched a Mario Odyssey video, did we not?
Yes, we did.
I showed you the New Donk City ending where he's dancing, but then he goes in a pipe and he becomes 2D.
Yeah.
What if we had maps where when you're driving, you maybe drive through a green pipe and then you go to older versions of Mario Kart, or you go to different graphics? Would that be enough of a change for you? Like, what would be the change you would look for?
I think the change you just mentioned if I saw that, I think that would have gave me excitement. I think seeing you drive on a rail where there is no left or right, you're just kind of attached to it, and then you jump off and then you get a little bit of boost. Like, this is no pushback towards any type of like skating. I love skating. Skating's cool, but it felt like it was taking away from being a kart game, you know?
I get you.
So I think that was the part that kind of threw me off a little bit. And also maybe it's just the driver that we were watching. Also, they were hitting a drift. Terrible. They did a bad drift.
They were really bad
on one of them. Like, if you're telling me it's like you have this giant turn and you can't hold a drift to get like the purple drift, the highest one, like, I don't know. He's just like, I think I needed to watch an expert play. Maybe I'll have a different opinion, but I'm seeing like clearly the map's going to be extremely big. There's going to be, they said 25 people.
Yeah, 24, I think. 24 drivers. So it's really going to be a lot of mayhem. I think this will be a really good game for families, kids, stuff like that. For it to be that many players, I think we were mentioning earlier how you were saying like this will take a lot more like items being hit from people and stuff like that. So I don't think the gap of like, oh man, first place is like so far away, even though Mario Kart has always made it where you can catch up somehow. I think with this many players being this close to each other, I think it will be a lot more mayhem, which could just be fun in itself. But I think I need to see more. I need to see faster speeds, slower speeds. I need to see like some experts playing. I need to see how far like we could be having fun and being competitive. I'm not gonna lie, you made me think of something, a feature I would like to see in the game.
What would you want to see?
I would like to see pit stops.
Ooh.
I would like to see wear and tear on your tires in your kart, and I think that would just be a little addition that you wouldn't have to overdo. Like,
yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it, but there's light, medium, heavy. There's light, medium, heavy characters.
Yeah.
Maybe the heavier characters' tires wear out faster. The heavier vehicles' tires wear out faster. But if you hit somebody with a heavier vehicle, it'll damage their cart a little faster. And maybe you can't total their cart, but you could bring their cart down 3 speeds.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I agree with what you're saying. I didn't put perspective or thought towards when you're bouncing off a rail or a wall, we've like turned into like Tony Hawk, or we've turned into a skating game, or we've turned into something a little different, which I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely would prefer if we had pit stops and maybe it was more like you had little toadettes that, you know, or your pit team, or you've got like Bowser's little family and they're your pit team. Like, it would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool to have little pop-ups in the corner where it's like Toad, like, come in for your tires.
Imagine a bunch of Toads running out to your tires, and then let's say you have to spam like
button
X,
sequencing. Brother, button sequencing.
Dude, we're writing this. Listen, should we even give this to them?
And actually, before I forget, that was one of the things I liked about one of the games you were talking about. There was an RPG you were talking about earlier that was turn-based. Oh,
yeah.
Expedition 33.
Yes.
Expedition 33 has button sequencing in the fighting.
Yeah. So it gives you a little bit of action in there, even though it's a turn-based.
See, look,
is nice.
We're coming
Very
up with
nice.
great ideas. It's
Ooh.
cross platforms. I would say button sequencing, pit stops, wear and tear on car tires. That would be cool. I will give a shout out. You saw the wings come out of the side of the plane.
I did like that.
It took me back to Rush.
That looked good.
And not Crash Team Racing, but Diddy Kong Racing. I was like, hold on a minute. I'm about to be flying, baby.
That was nice. So, yeah, I want to say, like, in total, if they're remaking Mario Kart, and I know they've always done this over and over, so it's always the question of what can we add that's new. I think the things that were showcased, some of them, I was like, I wasn't expecting that. And don't get me wrong, keep surprising me. That's a good thing. But like you said, like a pit stop, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. And it doesn't have to be where it's something where it's in every single race. You can have it where when you're doing 150cc or 200cc, that way it's like, okay, I'm playing with, younger folks, or playing with kids, and then like we don't want to have this level of complexity where all of a sudden they're not enjoying this. We can still just have it where it's a race.
Well, and also that could be the advantage of the different maps, right? You play Toad's Kingdom where you're playing on an actual speedway, and then you play the Donkey Kong one where you're driving off the map. Maybe the one off the map, the dirt bikes have better traction and they drive at a little bit faster speed the whole time. But when you're on the track, you can't do a pit stop because it's a motorcycle, so its top speed caps at a certain point. There's ways that you can bring, again, it's layers to the game.
Yeah.
You're playing the same characters and races all the time, but if I'm more inclined to play these three characters on this map, these three characters on this map, these three characters on this map, it gives you incentive.
Yes.
Then on top of it, I'm competitive. So maybe you're playing the best character on this map, and I want you to know you suck. And I'm going to play a worse character with a worse cart, and I'm still going to beat you, right?
Right.
So, like, I think that when we talk about Smash Brothers or we talk about these games that are simple but just withstand the test of time, I think Mario Kart's got it, but I do think there are still areas, if they focus, they could make it still bring in tons of new people.
That's true.
Or bring back people who maybe got bored of it.
And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They might have these floating around, all these ideas. They might be for the next generation. But I know when they said the word of it being like Mario Kart World, I'm thinking in my head, this is pretty much not the last one, but this one's going to be like ultimate, right? Like this one's going to be out for a while and you won't see another Mario Kart kind of hit the shelves. So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of big stuff with this. And maybe they didn't showcase it. I won't know until I get to play it.
Or maybe Nintendo's way. They have it behind paywalls and they're ready to sell it to you. And you know what? I may be ready to buy it.
Yep, that's true.
Any other racing games you're excited for?
I mentioned it before. I'm going to mention it again. Screamer. Screamer is, man, it is like if you took Tron and you took a Studio Ghibli like movie and just combined it together and made it into a racing game that was like Death Race. It's just a very unique type of like mix of a game, and I know there's only just a trailer out, but I'm really excited for it. So hopefully it comes on out. There's not too much to say on it, but I will say check out the trailer. The animations, the way that it cuts left and right, it shows the characters shifting and stuff like that. Very, very clean. Definitely caught my attention immediately.
Be aware. Being aware is the biggest thing, so when it comes out, jump on it. Screamer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give a little shout out to a very old, big game, World of Warcraft.
Hey, let me know.
Obviously, I love it. I'm always going to love it. That's going to be that MMO in my heart. But I would tell you, a lot of people who have avoided it because of time investment, there are catch-up mechanics right now that are better than they've ever been. You can get up to the highest level gear without ever having to play with another person. which that is the point of the game. I want you to get in a guild. I want you to meet people. I want you to play with someone cool. Play with me if you need someone to play with. But what I'm saying is, you're not obligated.
Right.
You do not need to raid with others. You do not need to go do dungeons with others. You can play with your own followers. You can do delves. You can even go do quests now, and it will award you the highest level gear.
Right.
I would tell you, if you are into Animal Crossing, Sims, any kind of home building, now is the time to get into the game for 2 reasons. You have the catch-up mechanics, so you're going to be really highly skilled, leveled up, and have good gear. But more importantly, you're going to have the regions in your bank to build a cool home. So if you're a home builder, you're looking to decorate, you want 20 to 25 years of content and code to go through, you're going to be able to make the coolest houses. But you're going to need investment because you're going to need regions and you're going to need skills. So get in now. Definitely, I think it's worth the investment. And what I mean by this, Cliff, say you join.
Okay.
You level up your character. I, as an enchanter, could probably enchant books to float in your house.
Ooh.
Right? You're going for that Hogwarts feel. Oh, you know what? I want to have all steel furniture. You're probably going to have to be good at blacksmithing. Oh, I want a leather couch. You're probably going to have to be good at skinning and leather working. But this is where I don't know, but I would probably say if you've considered an MMO, you've considered a World of Warcraft, you've considered any of the other ones we talked about, get into WoW now.
Okay.
I think WoW will always have its place. I think there'll always be a table of players to join, but there's always going to be the fear of, I don't know how to play, I'm going to be a noob. That will continue till the day you play. And you start getting better. Start getting better now. Look on YouTube. Look up the guides. Hit us up. I will get Clifford into it because I'm going to peer pressure him forever. But
it's going to happen. He's got me on the ropes. I've been playing MMOs. I've been getting back into the flow of them. So it's probably going to happen this year, to be honest with you.
Have you ever been a decorator in games? Worried about the house, the little crib?
Yes, I have. The most decorations it'll probably be Minecraft, but I've played Animal Crossing during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some decorating there too.
Have I ever told you my COVID Animal Crossing horror story?
No.
I'll make this one quick. My wife worked from home during COVID, and I worked from home, and our jobs are very different.
Yeah.
So I could not speak loudly from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. because she does business calls.
Okay.
So from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., I would log on to Animal Crossing, and I'd sit at my desk, and I would play it all day. So after about 6 weeks, I had acquired everything that I possibly could because I'm a time traveling cheat, okay? I'm a time traveling cheat.
Oh, I should have been doing that.
I got all of the art for the museum.
Okay. Oh, nice.
I had decorated the whole island, and I'm going to be just completely honest. My island was classist, and it was cut into thirds. The middle third was the middle class, and that's where 80% of my people lived. I had 2 people, myself and one other person that lived in the high class, and then we had one guy that lived in the lower class thing. He ran the museum, the docks. There was a Chinese restaurant.
He was out in
and
the
a car
slums.
dealership. He was out there working. He had money, but he was working. I had basically done everything that I could possibly do on the island. Decorated every ounce, every inch. I have flowers everywhere I want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I, being the trophy hunter I am, there's no trophies, right?
Right.
I had to have a swan song. I invited 7 people in real life to come to my island. I invited them on WebEx, and I spent about 8 hours a day before going through all the art and making a keynote and putting notes.
No way.
And I got super drunk on red wine, and I invited them on WebEx into my island, and we walked through the museum, and I did an art showing.
That's awesome.
So it was phenomenal, really, but I don't think I can ever touch Animal Crossing again. I think I've done everything there's to do for New Horizons. I just need to wait. I overdo everything, and man, did I overdo Animal Crossing.
You were completely fine. I'll tell you right now, like, I didn't get all the paintings. I got a good chunk of them, and the fossils and stuff like that, even the fishes and stuff. But I definitely finished the look of the island.
Did you get your 5-star island rating?
I believe so.
I
don't
was saying,
know.
Clifford, that's the whole point. Like, you gotta get your 5-star rating.
Did I?
I
would have to
actually
double check.
had to
I can
take
let you
stuff
know.
away from my island to get it.
Really?
I had put so much stuff and decorated so much, it just kept saying my island was too cluttered.
Really?
So I had to tweak it.
I don't know. I don't know if I have it. I feel like I should, because the moment you walk up to the island, like, I have a waterfall that goes to end, and you walk through the middle of the waterfall, and then you hit like the town hall, and then over like right hand side there's like a Zen garden. You go over to the left, there's a spot where you jump over the ponds over to more like waterfalls, like kind of hidden away. Like, I did some decorating. I definitely did some landscaping and stuff like that. It looked really cool. But I don't know about that rating. I'll have to double check for that one.
I'm gonna have to charge my old Switch next time we hang out.
I got you.
We'll do our islands. World of Warcraft.
Very
Looking
nice.
forward to midnight. I think that's the name of the next release. That's where the home building will come out.
Okay.
I'll be grinding for the next year. So if you need any help, hit me up.
I'll probably be there for it. And I know there's to mention the last decorations. I know on RuneScape with a membership, you can actually have a house. You can decorate it, stuff like that. That was a lot of fun too. And there's one crazy story, a small one that I want to mention. Do you remember the party hats in RuneScape?
I do.
Do you know the story behind them?
No.
So it was the developer in the early stages of a previous game that actually wasn't even RuneScape. They renamed it to be RuneScape, if I'm not mistaken. They dropped these hats inside these pumpkins. People picked it up. They didn't do anything. They got rid of them. These pumpkins, do you know how much they're valued at today?
No?
Yeah.
Like real life money or
real
in-game?
life money?
I don't know.
Around $50,000.
Why, Clifford? Why?
50 bands for these party hats, and people are just tossing them away. But no one knew during that time that's what it'd be. And there's people that have held on to the party hats. They've sold 3, sold 4 for around that pricing. So it's crazy to mention, but I just want to point out, I know it goes from the story of us working in houses and decorating, but MMOs have such a powerful economy that actually relates to this real world that people actually find value in. So really crazy.
No, I mean, you're highlighting why I'm going to be grinding out regions for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have them, so if I need to sell them in-game and make money, cool.
Yep.
And guess what? I will sell them if somebody wants some real money.
But
Really, I look at MMOs are adjacent to real life.
Yeah.
You can be something that you aren't in real life, and you can work on that every day, and you can have rewards from that. And again, that is what games are to some people. So
Yeah.
I support it.
Absolutely amazing.
Fighting games. What are you excited for? Are you excited? Do you think there's going to be a new Smash Brothers? We were talking about Mario Kart World being the ultimate racing game. Do you think there's going to be another Smash?
I hope there's not another Smash for at least another maybe 3-4 years, to be honest with you. It's such a polished game. You're rewriting stories in a sense. I don't know. I think if they were to do a new Smash, I think they need to go back to that basics of how they did it on the Smash Bros. Which ones am I thinking of? It's the one with the storyline we were talking about recently.
Smash Brothers
Brawl. I think they need to take the concept of having a storyline, because Ultimate didn't have a storyline.
No. And I'll be honest, I agree with that. Clifford, yeah. I think that some games, there really isn't room for growth. I think Mario Kart has it. I think Mario Kart has that
after
space.
Talking about it, they have some space.
Smash Brothers, no, I can agree with that. I think the only thing that's going to be appealing is more characters.
Yeah.
Are there any fighting games that are on your radar or are exciting to you?
No, I want to say there's only so many fighting games I was actually good at.
I mean,
I was like so
but
bad.
I don't
at
want
that
you to
for a
get
while.
stuck too, and I don't want you to think just a Mortal Kombat or a Tekken.
That's
I
true.
showed you a couple games.
Yeah,
The Shinobi and the Ninja Gaiden,
those are actually pretty clean.
right? Like
I'm not
whenever
gonna
you
lie.
look at Shinobi Art of Vengeance, that one I think is more polished.
Yeah.
It looks newer. But what's interesting is kind of like what they do in Spider-Man.
Mhm.
They have different frames whenever he's not Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
the frames move faster when he becomes Spider-Man to kind of trick your eyes. You're like, ooh, he's quicker.
Yeah.
I think that from what I saw, it plays at 30 to 45 frames per second when you're running and you're jumping and you're doing actions. But the moment you go for that kill, because it's a side-scrolling platformer. This fighting game, for perspective, is a side-scroller, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or an old, like, Simpsons game.
Yep.
You're running side by side, you're running from left to right, but whenever you're fighting, say you jump and you swing your sword, dude, the frames per second jump up. They, like, double. And it looks so crazy because your guy is, like, zipping and cutting people up.
Right.
So, it has this kind of simplistic side scroll fighting, but man, when you get into those fights, they're vicious.
Yeah.
And then we looked at the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, same thing, right? It's a side scroller. This one was more 16-bit.
Yeah,
had a
just
little bit
more.
lower quality graphics, but the problem solving, the jumping and doing the sword front flip where you hit stuff and it makes you jump further.
Yeah.
So you have to know, there's 3 lamps. So let me jump up, hit 1 lamp, hit the second lamp, hit the third lamp, jump to a ledge.
Right.
There's problem solving on top of it's pretty cool when you cut something in half with a
Yeah.
charged up supercut.
It makes it where it's not just a mindless, I'm just killing whatever I see, or whatever's closest to me. No, they advertise it too, that's like, you need to kill in sequence of certain things. That was actually really nice. I will say there wasn't any like specific gaming or like fighting games that were on my mind, but I know we both went over those, and those were exciting. I would play those.
I don't recall the last time I played a platformer, like, and enjoyed it, like truly, like played just a 2D side by side, and both of them are very catchy. After watching some of the gameplay, I think I'm gonna lean more towards Ninja Gaiden.
Okay.
It has simpler graphics, but I think the puzzle of having to be able to traverse levels is going to be more attractive than something that's flashy.
Yeah.
But I think both are phenomenal. If you're
Absolutely.
looking for a game, you're looking for some simple fighter, those are 2 go-tos.
I will say you made me realize that I was actually playing a fighting game today. Have you heard of Dead Cells?
You told me about it, and I already forgot about it.
I told you just a little.
You literally told me about it the
smidge.
moment you walked in. I was like,
Yeah.
tell me more, and then shut my ears up.
So Dead Cells is it's a game where you're already like a dead warrior. You're in this prison cell at the very bottom of a castle, and you're fighting your way all the way up through the castle to kill the king. The king has caused, genocide in the kingdom. He has caused plagues, really became a mad king, and I don't know why you're alive, because the storyline is really like obscure. There's small hints when you go to different areas and stuff like that, and you're trying to piece it together. But it is a platformer. It is potentially a fighting game, because you can use swords, weapons, sorts like that. But you can also use grenades. You can also use bows. You can also use like powers, depending on what you pick up. So this game is like a trial run. You would start off in the main area, and you would fight your way through these random like maze-made areas that you can go up, down, left, right, whatever the maze like leads you through. And you'll have 2 options. There'll be a door that leads you out to, let's say, the courtyard, or this door that leads you out to the rampart. And for anyone that's like, what's a rampart? It's the part of the side of like the castle. So let's say you go out to the rampart. You go out there, you fight things, you're jumping from area to area, you're picking up items, you're going to like miniature shops that are kind of set up along the way. You can pick up like items that are really upgraded, like ice bombs to a electric whip to all these different like crazy weapons. And then you'll get to another break off. So it's almost like a tree. You almost have a tree of options. And it'll all lead to getting to the king. But in each biome, there's different items to unlock to progress in a different story. So it's a really cool game. It's very tough. I would want to put it up in the top 5 of like hardest indie games I've ever played.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's actually like, this is like
It's
asking,
tough.
requiring skill, not asking, requiring
skill. To just beat the game is, it's a little tough. To try to get this platinum, I'm telling you right now, this one's up there.
That was
For
Kingdom
sure.
Come Deliverance 2 for me. I played it. That game is, I will come back to it. That
You
is
will.
putting it off till I have no other games game.
Yeah. Once you're in the mental space where you're like, you know what, it's time to take this on, you'll take it on. It was the same for me for like The Witcher. I was like, I gotta put this down for a second.
I'll be honest though, this Dead Cell sounds like it's got a really good recipe for something.
It's good. I would say you would like to play it. I can see you playing it, but it's definitely one of those games where you are doing these trial runs and you're going through and you're like, okay, let me go out through this area next time. Or, oh, let me go through here. I found like a good weapon over here. Or there's crazy weapons. Like there's one weapon that like you'll hit like plus like 400 damage. So you'll just insta kill anything. But if you hold the weapon, you also will be insta killed if something hits you.
That's
right?
pretty cool.
Yeah. So there was also like, there's different like mutations you could do. So you can mutate your dead body. There was one where it's like called Armadillo. So if you put a weapon in your backpack and you roll through an enemy, your backpack will do damage to whatever you roll through. So then you have this cool effect. Or let's say you have a freezing weapon. You can freeze something and you got a mutation that's called Frostbite. Anytime you freeze something, all of a sudden they'll start taking damage. So there's so many different combinations of how to get through the gameplay. It's really fun. So,
Love it. I mean, that's one of the things that brought me into Breath of the Wild. So I'm not gonna fight that.
It's a nice recipe. So,
any co-op games you're excited for?
ooh, I think we have the same one.
Is it Light No Fire?
It's like no fire.
Ooh, break it open, Cliff. Tell the people.
Oh man, I think for me specifically, I think this is the game that we were hoping to see when we saw No Man's Sky.
This is what I hoped when I saw Valheim. This is what I've hoped for a lot of games.
Yeah.
I could see the similarity. What did you want from No Man's Sky that you're seeing here? The camaraderie, being able to be that close and being able to explore?
Straight out the gate, you can tell there's two things that No Man's Sky didn't have in its early release. And I want to be specific. In its early release, the companionship of having that co-op.
We started, I can see you, you're here, and we're already traveling.
We're linked up.
Right from the get. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like even if it was we need to find each other, let's set a waypoint, I would be fine with that, because then I have to go on a journey to find you and you have to go on a journey. That would be fine too. But being able to clearly do co-op is so important. And I think there was a moment where you're walking through and there's a bunch of like rabbit people and they're all kneeling as you walk through. One, the rabbit characters look really cool. Probably going to make one. Two, clearly there's some type of narrative there. So there's a storyline. And I think having small different storylines, very important.
Absolutely. And I think that whenever I look at it, right, I kind of wanted to play a bear at first.
Yeah.
Saw the bear character. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be this big brute. Then I see this little agile rabbit. I'm like, dude, kind of badass.
It is. It kind of reminded me of Fantastic Fox. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie before.
It reminded me of Bugs Bunny.
Oh, okay.
So that's, I think it's just everyone's different, but me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like, I'm gonna be Bugs Bunny going around, doing medieval stuff. But to your point, right? It immediately has so much life.
Yeah.
You immediately connected it to like, oh, this is like a character I've seen before, and it's a rabbit with a shield.
Yeah.
It's a bear with a shield. So I mean, my brain goes to Valheim. I really wanted to traverse, travel, have a grandeur, journey, but I wanted to kill a troll. I wanted to take down a monster. I wanted to build a castle. I wanted to build a cabin on top of a mountain so we could be warm and have this cool home, but also fight dragons. You and I both saw these 4 come up on this big cube-headed large monster.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have it all.
And it rolled its head. It's just like...
Rolled its head, turns on its lights.
Oh, man.
And on top of it, we can go build a little cabin with a little chimney and some fire.
Yeah.
Like a little rabbit. Wait, no, I'm a rabbit, not me.
Maybe not rabbit. Maybe
a fish.
Maybe just a carrot.
I'm a pescatarian.
Maybe a steamed carrot. It tastes good.
Light No Fire looks really, really phenomenal.
Yes, it does.
Medieval, magical, Minecraft building-esque.
Oh, we forgot to mention something about it.
Leave me alone.
It's the size of Earth.
It is. And I think that's a good antithesis to No Man's Sky.
Yes.
You're talking about traversing a whole universe too much.
Yeah.
Being on a planet the size of Earth. Earth is not tiny.
It's
But
not.
it's small enough that you'll run into people on other sides of the world.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get out and explore the terrain. I'm also curious what little points are going to link other areas, because there's going to be little nuggets of either Easter eggs or discovery, or even maybe things you build yourself.
Yeah.
I think of Death Stranding, where you're walking around and you're building roads. Maybe there'll be something like that built in. So very, very excited for Light No Fire.
Yes. I hope that we get a lot of small narrative side quests that are just built in. If there is a grand main story, I welcome that too, but I think as long as there's just like a litter of small quests, I think I would be happy with that. Being where it's like, okay, we can, as a co-op, do these side quests, build a place, or move here, or transfer a bunch of stuff. I think that would be very inviting, because when you play No Man's Sky, you're just so absorbed in all the exploration that you can do. Oh, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm getting let me get fuel here, oh, I'm discovering stuff, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm alone. Can I play with friends? That's your first question. And it's gotten better over time. It's in a great spot, but I think seeing this game now, this is what I was expecting when I saw No Man's Sky. So no put off to them. They definitely are growing as a company, as they do, and as every company does. And I'm glad that they're putting out a game like this.
Yeah, and I think that some people have the ability to grow and learn No Man's Sky, and some people it blows up in your face so you don't have that luxury, like Helldivers. So I think you just gotta ride the wave, and I really hope that this game makes all the right decisions, and I wish them the best.
Absolutely.
What about Arc Raiders? Have you seen anything for Arc Raiders? That might be the last co-op game I'm so excited for.
What's going to be in Arc Raiders?
Arc Raiders is a game where you drop into an area. It's like a shooter.
Okay.
Over-the-shoulder shooter, very much like The Division.
Oh, yes. You were showing me a little bit about it.
It's like Tarkov in the sense of you do not have supplies necessarily when you enter a mission. You could.
Okay.
You could not. If you enter with none, you're scavenging and you're getting supplies to leave with.
Right.
The whole point of these missions are to drop in and extract. They're extraction point shooters, right? So the co-op in this is going to be like, I'm trying to save your life so you can get some value out of this last 20 to 30 to hour that we spent in this mission.
Right, exactly.
That's so rare. I'm not trying to save your life in Call of Duty. I'm not trying to save your life when we're playing Team Deathmatch. I'm not trying to save your life when we're playing Kill Confirm. I'm trying to kill others and prevent collateral damage.
Right.
When I'm playing Battlefield, I am trying to bring you back to life and give you covering fire. I'm trying to either prevent or react. This game is going to be so different every mission you drop based on what the parameters are. Am I going in this mission to get a certain amount of loot? Am I looking for these computer parts? I need to find them. That doesn't involve killing. But I might have to kill somebody. I might get cornered. I might have to kill somebody, and I may not have supplies. Or I may have supplies, and someone rolls up on me, and I don't want to kill them, and I'm forced to. There's so many ways that Arc Raiders, I think, might be the next iteration of that Tarkov-esque game.
Okay.
With access. Tarkov, if you buy it and you forget your password, you have to rebuy the game.
That's tough.
You have to play it on
That
PC.
hurts.
And you have to have a pretty good PC. And not to be that guy, there's a lot of cheaters. I look at the unfortunate side of when you play PS5 or you play Xbox, there's always a anti-cheat system that cuts out a few of those people. Yeah, you have to own a system, but owning the system itself puts parameters in that cut out some of those people that ruin the game.
It does.
I just have hope. I have hope that Arc Raiders is going to be fun. I have hope that Arc Raiders is going to be that game for my friends like you and Guido who really like The Division and like that over-the-shoulder shooter. And to be honest, I just need a shooter that I like. I don't really have a shooter right now I'm invested in. And
That's true.
I'm just
same
kind
for
of...
me. I don't think I have one that I'm invested in right now.
Rivals has kind of fizzled out for me too a little, so I'm like...
See, yeah, I've actually, like, Season 2, I haven't been playing too much. I've been playing some other games. Hey, it goes with the waves.
Arc Raiders might be that next game for us.
It just might be.
Any co-op games on your radar?
No, I would just say that I am going to play It Takes Two. That's probably the one game that I'm going to... It's always been sitting on the shelf, but we're going to be playing it very soon, which would be nice. Besides that, I would say that's pretty much it.
Well, Cliff, I mean, that's really us going over all the types of genres we played this season.
It's true.
We really dived into some of the games that we enjoyed, some games that we're looking forward to. What are some of the elements that we should look for in this next season?
I think your foreshadow's right there. It's going to be the elements of it. And the elements of all the games that we've talked about. And that's going to be going into, you know, what the environment looks like, to the verbiage of, like, the games. This goes into PvP and PvE. We're going to dive into mechanics, the mechanics of how games work. It's going to be a great time. We're really going to take in and go over all the different stuff that makes a game work properly, that isn't really talked about.
Yeah, and to be honest, some of them, maybe you had 3 of the recipes really well and you just really dropped the ball in one area.
Yeah.
So I think that we'll be able to really highlight elements that we like about the games that we love.
Yes.
We're going to be very candid and point out things that maybe killed games or push people away.
Yeah.
I think whenever you look at the minutia that make up video games, all of us have things that we find nostalgic or we find comfort in or we find joy in. I think being able to identify that and being able to relate that to other games where maybe you see it's lacking things that you value, but it being so strong in certain aspects might make it a game that's worth the 10 hours or the 15 hours or the 20 hours. Game cinematics and game music are like those things for me.
Yes.
I kind of don't care if your game plays like trash, but then the music's phenomenal. I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
If I play through a clunky game and the cinematics tell a really great story, I'm still going to do it. Tales Noir is a great example. That game really dropped off at one point, but it still was worth the 15 hours I put in.
Yeah, it definitely was. I can tell you right now, like, you know, Fallout 4 is not a visually, like, pretty, like, game to play or very appealing looking game to play. But the music, listen to that album all day long.
The ambiance and experience you have in a game can be part of what makes the game so great itself. The game might suck, but you're like feeling it. You're vibing when you're there. So I totally agree. Let me just put it into a summation.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you so much for listening to season 1 of the Legend of Gaming podcast. We appreciate you so much. We want you to reach out to us on our website, thelegendofgamingpodcast.com. We want you to reach out on our socials, The Legend of Gaming Podcast on X, Facebook, Spotify, all the socials. But more importantly, we want you to let us know what you like, what you love, what you want to hear more of, and we want you to be prepared. We're going to have season 2 out in July 1st, riding that early, getting you ready for summer, and we're going to have you set up for all of the game elements. So game verbiage, setup, mechanics, game music, cinematics, PvE versus PvP, minigames, Easter eggs, collectibles, environmental settings and aspects. So if there's something you want to see, there's something you want to hear about, there's something very niche that maybe we missed, reach out to us, let us know. We would love to cover it. But until July, this is Matt.
And you got Cliff.
And we're signing out.
Peace.